What do all of these authors have in common?
If you want to completely change your writing life, you have to start with changing your writing routines. I'm going to show you how to create a flexible, ADHD-friendly writing routine that adapts to your changing energy levels over time. A writing routine will absolutely change your life, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can implement one. Throughout the early course of my academic career, I oscillated between extremes. One week, I'd be hitting all of my writing goals, up to date on communications, meeting deadlines, balancing my social life, and other days, weeks, even months would pass by without a single word typed, email sent, or meeting scheduled. Over time, this led to huge fluctuations in productivity, grades on assignments, and even mental well-being. The stress that comes with not meeting deadlines or expectations can really add up over time. But one key element that's helped me stay on track is creating a writing routine. While this didn't happen overnight, in fact, it's been years of trial and error, mostly error in my case. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 tips that continue to work for me. The first thing that I want to highlight for us is that any writing routine is only as good as your ability and your motivation to maintain it consistently. That consistency is going to equal progress in the long term. The second thing that I want to highlight for us is that having options, in this case, 3 of them, in accordance with your energy levels is going to really help with adhering to that routine. Again, flexibility is crucial here. The third thing that I want to incorporate is knowing what to work on ahead of time so that you go into each writing session with a goal that is small and achievable and helps to reduce that dreaded feeling of overwhelm. What this can look like in my case is a next scene plan where I write out either in a sentence or a couple bullet points or even a paragraph what I want to accomplish in a given scene. It's important to remember that the only thing that matters about a writing routine is its ability to get you to put words onto paper. That's it. Consistency is the only thing that matters when it comes to progressing your writing. Whether you're working on your first 500-word paper, finishing up a final draft for your supervisors, or finally getting around to writing that fantasy novel that's been floating around in the back of your head since you were a little kid. Too specific? Consistent progress will allow you to build confidence, improve gradually, and produce work that you're proud of. This writing routine that I'm about to walk you through helped me throughout my entire time at school, whether that was the master's program, PhD, or now as I'm finishing up the first draft of my fantasy novel.
All right, so as you can see here, we have our writing routine template. So I just wanted to walk you through this. It's going to be very simple, very straightforward. The whole idea here is that it's as flexible as possible. All of these are just suggestions. They can occur at any time. It's designed mainly so that you have, for example, if you get your best work done at, 8 p.m., and you wake up usually, after 12, then you can totally adjust the timings as you need to and as you see fit. So a lot of this is at the moment based on, getting up, working sometime around 9 or 10, but you can, as I've left these time slots blank here, you can just fill them in as you see fit and whatever works best for your schedule, your energy levels, and when you're most productive. So let's get into the low energy example here. So what you're going to do, this is on a day where you're not feeling so great and the motivation maybe isn't there to start, or you're having difficulty figuring out where to even begin. Opening the document, can feel like this huge challenge. So what I want to do for you here is simplify that process and just have you get into the document, open it up, and just to start, just to kind of get the brain going, get primed. There's no pressure to, write a paragraph or write, 500 words. We don't have any of those sorts of qualitative goals in mind. It's just opening the document. So let's go through it. Wake up, hydrate, breakfast and coffee. This is, simple. You could even do instant coffee or some tea, whatever you fancy. The breakfast, ideally, just as quick and easy as you can make it. What you're going to do is sit down, open up the document, get settled at your desk. Maybe you're sipping your coffee or your tea, and just read through the previous day. That's going to be our next step here. So as we're reading, we're just doing this gently. We're giving our brain time to acclimate to the project, maybe get some ideas going, but we're just sort of going in there as passively as possible, just absorbing the information that we might have been working on from the previous day. So from then, what I'd like you to consider doing is looking at next steps. So this can be, maybe you wanted to plan your next scene or write a few bullet points about the plot, or maybe a character arc that you want to kind of tinker with a little bit. And this can look like, writing 2 to 3 sentences on what you're excited the most about. So this can really be anything. And in the case of writing fiction or fantasy, in this case in particular, again, maybe that's some world building, and you can do some research, go on the internet and see, what was life like in the 1800s, if that's sort of, where your fictional piece is set. If this is, something that's more academic in nature, you can maybe brainstorm some ideas, see what sort of, if you're writing an essay, see kind of what points are connected to your thesis statement, and do a little bit of research into that. But again, there's no pressure here to achieve a certain word count goal for the day. We're just trying to ease ourselves in, start at a low stakes setting, and just go from there. That's the whole plan. So that's why I've kind of left this open. The remainder of the day, once you get this done, a lot of the times what you'll find is that you want to, or that you feel like you can continue working, and that's great. But if that's not the case, and this is all you get done for the day, just opening the document and reading through it, then that's fantastic as well, and you can count this as a win. With that being said, let's move on to the medium energy days. And you'll notice a lot of similarities between the days here, but things are sort of scaled up or down based on our different energy levels. And this is mainly something that's ADHD or neurodivergent friendly. The goal here is to account for these sometimes huge fluctuations in what we feel like we can do or feel motivated to do, and just give us some sort of structure to the day that's going to allow us to progress even just a little bit. So the medium energy pathway sort of looks like this. We're going to wake up again, hydrate, a short walk, viewing some sunlight, really great if you can get outside, even if it's cloudy. Getting those photons into your eyes, not through a window, but actually getting outside, is going to be really great to sort of help you kind of maintain a consistent circadian rhythm. After that, our short walk or viewing, on the balcony, sitting outside, getting some sunlight. We're gonna have breakfast, our coffee or tea. And then from there, we can review what we've written the previous day, kind of prime the pump, so to speak, get our brain working on the project that we're gonna be tackling today. So once we get into our working cycles, on these days, what I like to do is the Pomodoro method of 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. And I'll do that a couple times, maybe 2 to 3 times before lunch. And from there, we'll have lunch, grab a little walk, maybe a bit of light exercise. This can look like a slow, steady jog, or you want to do some yoga, a little bit of, light strength exercises, body weight exercises, that sort of thing. From there, the remainder of the day can be left up to planning, some admin, if you want to do some reading, just some sort of refilling, I guess, the creative well, so to speak. This can be a great time to do that. If you find that your energy is sort of, trickling out towards the end of the day or the late afternoon, then this can be a great time to sort of recharge and prepare yourself, get the brain going for the next day and your next work cycles. In this case, what we want to focus on in the afternoon, assuming the afternoon is kind of the latter half of your sort of work day, then we want to focus on less cognitively taxing tasks. So that looks like, emails, admin, that sort of thing. So with that being said, I've left the remainder of the day open for you to spend however you see fit, whether that's playing video games, hanging out with friends and family, doing other work maybe. It's totally up to you. All right, now let's move on to your higher energy day. And while these might be far and few between, it is important to plan for them and have a routine that sort of encourages creating this sort of day as a default setting. So what we're going to do is wake up, hydrate, go for a walk. This can be a longer walk if you're feeling up to it. Or, if you've got pets that you can take outside, maybe an hour or so, that would be fantastic. Again, breakfast and coffee. This time, if you feel like and the weather allows for it, you can consider having those outside, especially, sipping a cup of coffee out on the balcony or out in your backyard, in a park if you're taking your coffee to go. That sort of thing can be a really great way to kind of like ease yourself into the day, get the brain going. And from there, what I like to do is a bit of reading. This can be something that's connected to the work that you're doing, so a fantasy novel, or it can be something that's completely different. Maybe you're looking for more productivity or self-help, sort of nonfiction, that sort of thing. It can be nice to sort of read sort of a breadth of topics and really give your brain variety to kind of pull from. It can really help sort of, one, refill the creative well, but also help you see patterns, bring things in from other domains into your writing that you might not have otherwise. So from there, after we've journaled, this can be as short or as long as you like, just getting thoughts down, how you're feeling, thoughts, emotions, plans, that sort of thing. What we're going to do is we're going to overview our next scene plan. Following that overview of our next scene plan, we've got a really clear idea of what it is that we want to write. Now, what I like to do is set aside a 90-minute deep work session. I know exactly what I want to accomplish within that scene or within that chapter, and I want to sit down and write uninterrupted for 90 minutes. This can be, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90, however long you want to write and however long you feel like you can write, and you can build this up over time, sort of like working out a muscle. But the important thing to remember here is that this deep work period should ideally be distraction free. So no emails, no checking phone. Ideally, all notifications or distractions are off, put away. You can leave your phone in another room, that sort of thing. So you want to get as sort of focused in your environment and as comfortable as possible to put in a longer work session. After that, I like to get outside, have a bit of physical exercise. It's a nice little break in the day, reset the body, reset the mind a little bit, come back, have lunch. From there, if you feel like you have the energy, another 90-minute work session is a fantastic way to kind of keep that momentum going and really increase the word count. On days like this, it's important that we take advantage of that higher energy level and try and get as much onto the page as possible. From there, we can consider maybe going for a longer walk or just getting outside, going for a stroll. That sort of thing is a really nice way to kind of wrap up the day here. And what you can do after that as well is as many of these deep work sessions as you feel like you have the energy for. With all that being said, these are our 3 variations on a writing routine that you can implement in your life to help you. The whole goal here is flexibility and to help you adhere to these routines, because I know for me, it can be really difficult to sometimes maintain one strict writing routine where it's okay, I have to reach, a certain word count per day, or I have to do this and then this, and sort of this strict list. The thing that I've done here, and it's really helped, particularly if you are neurodivergent or have ADHD, anything like that, is these sort of 3 different almost degrees of the routine can really help you to stay consistent, which I think in my case is definitely the hardest thing. Adhering to a routine, sitting down, working on the project, all of this can be really difficult, and these routines can definitely help you.
Productivity, especially in terms of writing output, isn't a secret. Time spent typing in the chair is the only way forward. But for all that we might know about what we have to do, the challenge often lies not just in putting words on the page, but in getting to the page to begin with. Sometimes, even opening the document would seem like an insurmountable ordeal. In my case, this could spiral into procrastination that would last for days, weeks, even months. At this point, though, it's important to remember that a key component of any writing routine is, or ought to be, self-compassion. To that end, I've included in this video 3 sample routines that align with 3 different levels of energy that you may have on any given day. Whether you feel like you have the bandwidth to only type 1 word, 1 chapter, or finish the whole thing, these sample routines will provide a flexible starting point that can help you meet your writing goals. Keep in mind that these routines are just a starting point. Try experimenting with times, activities, and any other factors you can think of that might suit your ideal productivity conditions better. If you want to see me try famous authors' writing routines for a little bit of experimentation, drop a comment below on who you think I should start with. With that being said, I'd love to hear how these examples work for you. Let me know in the comments below what worked and maybe what didn't, and what you'd like to change. If this video has provided some insight into implementing a writing routine or motivated you to take that first step, please consider liking and subscribing. I'll be posting plenty more productivity, gaming, and ADHD-friendly content.
And if you have ADHD, I think I've found the perfect game for you. Check it out in this next video.